Hello everyone, welcome to GW Pro Trading. It's with Michael here, and today we're going to be looking at the market overview. We're going to be looking at overview for the next trading week, which is on the 6th to the 10th of December 2021. And we're going to be looking at points of entry. We're going to be looking at demand, where we have demand and we have supplies, and then I'm going to be sharing with you some setup which I also expect to see in the market and which could also give me one of a valid entry for the next trading move. All right. First, as always, I'm going to start with the King Dollar. All right. The King Dollar, I want to start with the King Dollar because it's more of what detects or decides, all right, the move for the market. All right. So we'll go over to King Dollar, and then we could also see that for King Dollar, right here, we did have a very major news coming in on Friday, the previous trading week, which was NFP. All right, we had NFP, and I looked at NFP, and I was able to understand that before the NFP, we had what could have also been a very strong start of this structure here. All right, so whatever this structure is, it could as well be a correction, or it could be a start of a new leg. However, remember, in my last 3 weeks, I wanted to see price get into 97.83 territory. That's the point I'm expecting for this to reverse. Okay, I'm expecting price to reverse around that territory. All right, that's the territory which I expect price to reverse from. Okay, I want to see price reverse from that territory there. So I'm gonna have to follow up on price and then wait for price to give me a valid entry for the next wave to this point. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to also happen, and it would really be a nice one because it's one I'm gonna take as well, also in the B to an upside. Okay, so we as well see that we also have bullish price movements. Overall, last week we had what could also have been an indecision candle followed by another indecision candle, and which at this point here, I put it to traders that indecision candles or a doji to be lined up side by side, all right, side by side, such as this. All right, you want to see the confirmation with the next candle. All right, you want to see the confirmation with the next candle, and you can expect that the next candle could give you confirmation, but however, it could also make a high of that previous day or that week before, then maybe, just maybe, if it's going to be a bearish one, before dropping into that territory. All right, so you want to have a confirmation. You want to see that price is actually ready to reverse about in that area there. All right, so this is just what it is. Okay, it's just what it is for now until we have validation. Okay, until we have validation that price could either reverse to the downside or could also continue to the upside. But I would be more bullish on the week. Okay, I would be more bullish on the week, and that will be when price can give me a valid entry. Okay, so when price can give me a valid entry, I will be more bullish. Okay, I will be more bullish. Okay, I want to see price either create an A, B, C. What could have also been a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a W, X, which we could also be expecting that this could also create an A, B, C to complete that structure there, because this would now create what we would understand as a flat or a zigzag. Okay, I would say that this is more of a flat to me than a zigzag, because I would be looking at, rather than looking at a zigzag, because I'm looking at this retracement being too high. All right, but I understand, guys, that this retracement also happened during Powell's speech. Okay, this retracement was as a result of a news. Okay, so I wouldn't really consider this one that much, but because it happened because of the news, so I will just take it for what it is. Okay, so I will look at the possibility that price should drop maybe down into 95,400 territory here. Then I will look for the next bullish opportunities. If price would continue making further uprises, breaking this structure here, I would be able to look at this as a very different formation. Say price could also retrace a little bit, then continue to the upside. All right, so I will look at this as a very different formation. Okay, but I want to see from this point on, I want to see price drop back into the zone. That will give me the most confidence to take a long trade. Okay. All right, so with that said, we could be looking at a possibility that certain pace may also benefit from this one. Okay, so let's just go over to the chart and then let's see what we're expected to do in the week. All right, so number one, last week I pointed out this liquidity zone last week. Okay, so that was what I pointed out last week. This territory has been here. So if you go over to my previous video, you can also identify that this has been here. All right, right from last week we are here. Okay, so I want to find a good reason, a good opportunity to be able to buy USD, Swiss francs to the upside. Okay, I want to find a good opportunity to be able to do so. Okay, I want to find that valid entry. Okay, because that is going to give me a push. Okay, it's going to give me a push. Okay, so I want to find that valid entry. One of the things that also happened here on Thursday, we had what could have been a validation with this structure here. All right, so this was a daily close. That was the first time we had a daily close in all this drop. All right, but I was expecting that this daily close will be maintained. Okay, should have been maintained by the next candle. However, the next candle dropped to the downside, so I expect more of a little bit of correction over the week. Okay, before the next demand can actually come in. So I'm going to have to wait. Okay, I'm going to have to wait because price fell at a very key environment there. Okay, so price fell at a key environment there, and initially, remember from last week, I was looking at the possibility that price could be creating some sort of structure. Okay, some sort of structure, but we have it that price have created that structure and then dropped one leg down. We've created that structure and then we've dropped one leg down. Okay, so that makes it complicated. Okay, so that makes it a little bit complicated. All right, but however, I want to see bullishness. Okay, that makes it complicated because this leg could also continue further going down and then continue further going down. But however, this leg could also be a fake out. Then we might have the next push to the upside. Okay, so once I have the next push to the upside, clearing the structure, this will invalidate this structure. This move here to this point will invalidate this structure here. Okay, so I want to see the next move. Once price creates a next move, I'm going to wait for some sort of retracement, and then I'm going to have to write whatever I'm looking at back into this zone. Okay, overall, what I want to see USD Swiss francs test will be previous structure. Okay, because one of those things why I'm looking at that is we had what could have also been a previous structure here, which price tested and rejected with 2 weekly candles. Okay, and then created what could have also been a double top here. Okay, so but however, we have demand in here, demand in here, so it's best to see which direction price is going to move to next. Okay, we could also have it that the bulls could also take advantage because we have more of bull strength still embedded in the market, because for last month we were able to close bullish for last month, and I would expect for price to hit this territory here would also be a good point for price to continue further going up from this territory. All right, but I don't want to see price clear this range. I don't want to see price clear this territory because this territory for me is an important one. So once price clears this territory, I think we're going to be looking for a different set of setup. Okay, so when we're looking to take these positions, I'm looking to start up my trading as usual. I'm going to be starting my trading on Tuesday. All right, because I don't regularly trade on Mondays. Right, if I trade on Mondays, it's going to be a very small position. I could take up to 0.5% risk of my equity. Right, I could take that small a risk on a Monday. Okay, so I'm looking at also USDJPY. I did speak about USDJPY, and I spoke about that we wanted to buy here, right? We did get in on trade, okay? We did get in on trade here, okay? Right here. And when price went up, right, fell back down, went up the next day, I knew that for that time that we were wrong. Okay, what I wanted to see was I wanted to see a bullish close. Okay, but I wanted to see a bullish close that could be maintained. But however, there were footprints, there were tracks of large players creating a distortion, and I wanted to see price break this point before I can then look for the next bullish opportunity. But price came into that zone, rejected, and away we go down. Okay. Original idea which we spoke about before the week, which was last week, I spoke about that this structure could have been a corrective pattern, and this drop here should have completed this for price to then make a push to the upside. Okay, however, this pattern, this structure completed, price then made that push, fell, dropped one more time, back into the zone. So this point here became a very strong resistance and a supply area. Okay, it became very strong supply, and that also was validated here. Okay, and it became supply, and we also have it that this could have also been demand zone, probably inside of this territory here. So it's a very serious tussle as to what we want to see next, or what we could expect to see next of price. But I expect that later in the week that we might have price make a clear decision. So I would say that we are more of in a range. Okay, we are more of in a range for this setup here. Okay, we're more in range because having first resistance here, supply, demand right here. So we're back into demand territory. We can't really say for sure what could also happen, but I will look at a possibility that if price would drop clearing this range, I think price will want to have a retest. Probably if the range is cleared somewhere small, okay, not that long out, I would want to expect a retest, and then we might also continue going down. All right, that's the possibility that could also come into play. All right, always remember that previous performance doesn't guarantee future result, and always trade with what you can afford to lose. All right, so we go over to EURUSD, and in EURUSD, you remember that we had this structure during the midweek market update. All right, I had this structure set out during the midweek market update, and I spoke about that I wanted to see price get into this point because this is my point where I want to see demand. All right, this is my demand territory. So in the whole of last week, I was only waiting for price to step into this territory one more time before I can then open on the trade. Okay, so I was waiting for that to happen, and once that didn't happen, I had no other alternative than to just wait. Okay, just wait. All right, and then plan ahead. All right, so if we would have price break this point, continue upside, that would be the best time to look for buy opportunities. But however, I expect price to continue trading down up to this point. Okay, we look at GBPUSD also as well, and I spoke about GBPUSD as well when we had this structure right here. And if I would extend this structure here, we can also see that this also conforms with previous structure which we also spoke about, and we also hopping in some good positions as well from right here, which I also spoke about from last week and also this week. Okay, right, last week, so 2 weeks back, last week also had it that price traded inside of this zone, all right, and then dropped to downside. We hopped up on that trade right here and also right here, 1 to some 5th extension, which was also a nice territory right there. Okay, so it was also a very nice territory right there. Fibonacci extensions triggered, and at this point here, I would say that we are in a territory I do not very much like. Okay, why I don't like this territory, I will go ahead and point it out to you why I do not like this territory. This territory here is more of a take profit territory for a big gun. Okay, so if I'm looking at taking a trade, if I'm looking at taking a short trade right here, I would be looking at leaving the market at certain targets. Okay, I'll be looking at taking profit at 1 here, previous structure. 2, I'll be looking at taking next profit at 1 to some 5th extension, which is right here, and we've triggered that, as you can see. And I'm looking at taking the next profit at 16185th extension, which is this point here, and we've seen that we've triggered that, and possibly I would be out. Okay, so I don't go down to take up to the 2.0. I might just be out all right, at 1.1618, okay, because that's a nice territory. All right, so we could also be on our way into seeing price move into final areas of a take profit for a big gun. All right, so you don't want to be taking trades around that position, because it's more of you are gonna be selling into a block buy order. All right, it was more you want to be selling onto a block buy order, and it's not one of the best. Okay, I want to see price correct. All right, so if price could correct of some sort, all right, show a very good sign of correction of some sort, that would be the best time to look for the next short trade opportunity. All right, a correction and a breakout would validate the continuation of this trend. All right, anything less than that, something similar to this one, all right, something similar to this would also spring up selling opportunities. All right, something similar to this one. All right, okay, so I'll always remember when I'm doing analysis such as this one here on midweek, I also give out points of entries and also give out trade calls on this channel as well. All right, we're back to the USD CAD. I spoke about USD CAD that I don't want to be taking any trades around this point. Right, let me just go ahead and point that out. All right, I don't want to be taking any trade on USD CAD around here. This is a huge liquidity territory for me. I don't want to take trades inside of this zone. Okay, I want to wait for some sort of structures. All right, I want to wait for some sort of structures, validation, and then I would be able to, plug in here. I don't want to take any trade here, right? Be it sell, be it buy, I don't want to take any trade here. So for USD CAD, I'm not going to be doing much of analysis because I already spoke about this one before. But this territory here is where price would find the next big move. Okay, so I don't want to take trades here. All right, so I look at NZD USD, and I could as well share with you this one that there is a possibility of price continuing downward. All right, but there could also be a possibility of price correcting a little bit back into the structure. So for this one here, I do not immediately have a buy or a sell trade, but rather I would wait for new setups to develop, because that's going to be the best entry point. All right, so I'll just leave this for what it is, then move on to next trade. All right, next trade, we're looking at AUD USD, and for AUD USD here, I'll ask a very funny question though. It's not a very classical question, but I will ask and then I will ask you. All right, I'll ask you because you're actually my audience. I'll ask you a very do you see a possibility that we might have AUD create a leg below this previous point back into 0.47? Is there a possibility we could test this point? I would say yes, and I would say no. Okay, because what I also identify that we have completed the structure here. Okay, I would say we've completed the structure here, and apart from the fact that we've completed the structure there, this previous area here, which I would also point out to you guys, was more of the point where price dropped into. So I'm going to be looking at a possibility that price could create a structure here. Okay, price could create a structure so different. Okay, but we are bearish. All right, we're bearish. That's the very first thing we want to identify, that we are bearish, because having failed to maintain this bullish momentum that was created here, I think the next move would be huge to the downside. Okay, would be to head downside and to some certain territories. All right, and I'm going to take note of this point here. I'm going to take note of this point here, because this territory will have a drop. We could also have it that price could also stay somewhere around just maybe some retracement areas of this huge swing. Okay, we might be looking at that possibility, just maybe. All right, so I'm looking at that area, and also I'm looking for the next drop to come in after a correction. We do not have correction at the moment, so it's best not to take any trade. We also got in on some cool positions last week on AUD, and that was massive. All right, we captured a whole 120 pips. That was massive. Okay, for gold, I've always pointed out that I want to see gold down. Right, I've always pointed that out many times when I'm doing presentation. I want to see gold down to the next level, which is about the support of 1683. Right, and once that happens, it could also be a classical period to wait for validation. All right, here we have gold trending downward. We have some sort of structure here. Okay, we have gold shaded in there. Gold could also reverse about from this point, or could also slide down. All right, so a structure is what it is until a confirmation appear. All right, a confirmation would appear, and or a confirmation would present itself and then validate whatever it is. All right, so we have gold trading downward. At this point here, we cannot make any conclusions. All right, but we can also draw a trade setup here, because what I also see here, the very first thing I want to do as an electrician is to see areas I can identify. I see possible ABC up, and I see a possible impulse, a double bottom. So I would say this could be an A territory. We have a B and we have a C. What is happening here is a D and an E probably. All right, so we also have a possibility that we're having an A, B, C. Okay, which is the downside, and we could be having an A, B, C, A, B, C, 4. Let's go ahead and put that back. All right, so we have an A, B, C. Okay, or this could also be our C leg, because this is a 3-wave move to downside, which could also create our C leg. And we could also be having a possibility that price could also get a little bit of momentum here and then continue the next right to the upside. All right, so it's all a possibility. All right, I don't go looking at smaller time frame trades such as this one here, so I would leave this one as always for what it is until a good setup presents itself. So I'll look at USD Mexican peso. For USD Mexican peso, I want to see this drop back down. All right, so we have price could have created a fake out with this structure, which looks like a breakout for this one here. So price fell to continue upside. Once this support area is taken out, it is a great possibility that price could also slide back into 2063 territory. There is a very massive possibility. Okay, there's a very massive possibility. Overall, we are bullish. And if I just go ahead, put, all right, my word. Okay, so put that line down there. We can also see that if price fails to maintain this trend line here, having challenged it multiple times, we might also see price slide below. Alright, so USDZAR looks just like this one here. Whatever is happening here, I think we are on our way into forming a complete corrective wave, right, or a next continuation to the upside. I think I would prefer this to be more of a corrective wave than the next move to the upside, because looking at this one here, okay, we have what could have possibly been A, B, possibly an ABC for a C, but that should be complete. Once price breaks below B leg, that should also scream a selling opportunity to the downside. All right, so see you next time. Subscribe, like, and share with friends. That's the best. Thank you, and it will also help in the creation of more videos such as this one. I'll be back with more videos before the start of the new trading week, and also on midweek I'll be back to update you guys on what I intend to do as well and how I'll be handling my trading journey in the week. See you next time. I love you all.